Woo!
Okay.
How was that? Reading the article.
It was good. I mean, reading it out loud, I taken some notes before the podcast about what had been coming up for me, but then reading it aloud again, it was really interesting. Like, I think I read it to you out loud once in
Yes.
recent months. And then reading it again today, I mean, I'm just, it's like why I go back to certain books and read certain chapters or just open the book. It's just amazing when you can see how we evolve, and then the words we write or the pages we read of authors we love will send us a different message. And because I recently went to this workshop that was really talking about feelings as representative of met needs or unmet needs, it was interesting to have just gone into that workshop and then read this article, and really it landed for me so clearly how the coffee and the milk represented unmet need. Like, even when I go to it today, I like the taste, and we can sort of try to separate, like, can you just have a latte and just have it be about a latte? Like, if only it were that easy. I don't think for me it is. But let's just say, yeah, once in a blue moon, it could probably just be about a latte. But even now, if I'm really honest, especially when I'm thinking so much this year, as you and I have talked so much, Catherine, about veganism and vegetarianism and really getting the nutrients and being super mindful about getting as much as we can from the food we eat so that our body wants and needs. I know, and I can say this without any hesitation, that the coffee and the milk, even if it's non-dairy milk, has no nutritional value for my body. So I'm very clear that when I want to go to that, still, it is about an emotional unmet need. And so rereading it was just a great reminder again for me to be mindful. Okay, like I got mindful of it 4 years ago, but I don't know that I named it. Like, as I was reading it today, I was like, have I even named the need? Like, if it is mother, father, love, if I call it that, what is that? How can I translate it into today's terms? And how can I then make a request for people around me, if it's something that is around me, to be, if it's a request for somebody else to get that need met? Or if it's not, then what practice do I have to set in there, particularly in the morning when I still want to have a coffee every single day, practice to meet that need that I keep thinking coffee is still the answer to? That got very clear. And I'm very excited about that because there's a bit that I have to sit with around that.
So since the workshop was this weekend, and we talked about doing this a couple of days ago with your article around podcast around it, like, have you had coffee?
I have.
And did anything new come forth with that as you were partaking in those needs? And could it also represent needs met?
I did not make the connection. There were some practices in that workshop that I've been speaking with Blair as we're
Right.
sort of laughing and playing with it, and that's been really fun. I didn't apply it to the coffee. Like, I didn't think about, oh, you had coffee a couple times this week. How is that representing an unmet need? Or is it meeting a need? Right? But when we're talking
Right.
about the met needs and the unmet needs, we're talking on the emotional level. Food will never meet a need at the emotional level. Now, like socializing and having a dinner party, at least for me,
Right.
right? For me, if I'm eating food at an emotional level, it's emotional eating. So if I want to get an unmet need, an emotional need, it's never going to be about food. It's going to be about some kind of activity, some kind of connection, some kind of acknowledgement, awareness, right? It's going to happen. I mean, just off the top of my head, it's going to be making a request of my husband and saying, can you give me a big hug and kiss before I go? And like, tell me something amazing that you love about me. Like, that may be it. Or it may be, maybe I need a little more sleep, or maybe I want to connect with a friend, or maybe I need to go meditate. Like, I don't know what, those are the ones that come to the top of my head.
Right.
Maybe I need to go move my body and move some energy. Um,
And it could just be symbolic of diving within, right? Like to have, I know you talked about in the podcast about like when you could go for a certain period of time and then that was it. You had to have it, right? Like you had to have it. And just in the awareness of, I really have this aspect that needs to be met, and it's gaining momentum from within on the desire, of having it, just the pure symbol of it could cause you to, when you say it now, it just, desiring it could be an indicator for you in the sense of having it, even though, I mean, it won't bring you any nutritional benefit, but it will bring your emotional benefit, right? The awareness, flood the awareness back. You talked about how the smell of espresso like brought you right back to your dad. So those are beautiful. There are beautiful things that you could attach to that as well,
mhm.
as absence and longing, right, for his presence in your life now or back then. So I mean, there's just a lot of ways you could frame this now, in the sense of playing with it and this awareness of it. So I think it would be interesting to play with it now, in the sense
Absolutely.
of, what is it bringing up? I want it. Like sit, and then to really be at a coffee shop, like the ones you love to go to, and sit with it. And then maybe to have it in front of you and write it a letter as it sits there in front of you, right? Like it write you another love letter. I think that would be very interesting, in the sense of how it's been so metaphor, brought so many metaphors for you, and then to see what that brings up. I think that would be interesting.
I think that's an amazing idea. I mean, and it's funny because as soon as you said that, it might sound funny to some people to like write a letter to coffee, but it wouldn't sound funny, I think, if we wrote a letter to our ex, right? Or wrote a letter to somebody we were struggling with that we might not send, but like to process some of
The
those
process it.
feelings and those thoughts and emotions, right? And so
Right.
that makes a lot of sense. And I love that idea. And I will
And
definitely.
I think we could all write our own letter to that thing that calls us, and we don't even know why it's called us. Mine, Coke Zero, right? Or whatever it is, in the name of longing and wants, right? Like if you can just say, I'm attached to it because of, there's some reason, and then just that curiosity alone could open amazing doors, or at least create a bridge to more understanding within.
Yes.
And you are certainly at the point where you can really play with this now.
Yeah. Yeah, I have enough detachment from it and enough awareness about it that my choice to be able to my choice to drink it or not drink it now is I'm in a really different place than 4 years
Right.
ago. Um, and so even that, like, and it's been a process for me. I mean, I live with a man who, if he decided coffee wasn't good for him today, he'd never drink it again. Like, he's been vegetarian for 35 years now. It's sort of like he makes up his mind, and there are people out there who do that. They get that kind of clarity, they stop that practice, they stop that addiction, they stop that habit. I am not one of those people. I wish I could be one of those people. I am not. I am a self-declared practitioner of maybe doing it the hard way, and there's to be able to say that with a big smile on my face and some humor. I recognize that this is my journey, right? This is my path, and there isn't a
Right.
right way to do it. And really, this is what gives us so much fodder for our podcasts and our videos and everything else we're doing, is we've got a lot of material to work with, right? If we were those kinds of
Exactly.
people that were just like, snap it, and like, we figured it all out, well, we might not have a lot more to talk about, right? Um, so Yeah.
Interesting. I
This
love
was
it.
fun. Yeah, this was
Yeah,
great.
right. I can't wait to hear about your letter now.
Yes, that's gonna be. We'll have that on another podcast sometime.
We'll do it. All right, my love.
Love
Perfect
you.
podcast as always. And of course, www.takeashiftnow.com is our lovely website from Julie, and you can find more about us there. Thanks for joining us. See you.
Bye. See you.